Hi there everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're ranking Bosnian Eurovision songs, which is kind of something that I've really just looked forward to doing because Bosnia and Herzegovina, in case you did not know, is probably one of my absolute favorite countries in Eurovision. It's a really big shame that they're not participating anymore. I would love, like, for all of the countries that are not participating anymore, the one that I most miss out of all of them is honestly Bosnia and Herzegovina, and you're gonna find out why today in this video, where I will be placing all of their songs from 1993 to 2016 into the 7 categories in this tier list. And yeah, I think you all understand how this works by now, so I'll just get right to it and clarify that 1993 kind of started with a, it's a very memorable and iconic type of entry that they really had here. In such dark times that the country and the nation was going through, only to, reach Eurovision and be able to spread a sort of message is incredible on its own. And the most wholesome part of it all, I think, is the reception that was shown in Mill Street on the night, or wait, no, not Mill Street. Mill Street was 94, wasn't it? I'm already messing it up here, but in Ireland, when the performance actually was, the massive reception that this song got is incredible. Always just gives me chills right as the first note is being struck in the song. And it's also one of these songs that really does have a purpose. It's not only the thing that actually getting to the contest and spreading the message you want to, it's when you can actually back it up with a song as well. I don't think the song is one of the best songs I've ever heard in my life, because it does have some structural flaws, I believe. It moves a bit slowly forward and doesn't really have that complete cohesion to it. But I think what it really delivers is hard-hitting raw emotion, and how it's kind of portrayed in this cold manner. It's a very isolated piece in terms of both. It's almost like the presentation of it is rather faceless, and it really just tries to speak of truth rather than trying to make it over dramatic in a sense or paint up some type of movie-like ambiance in it. The song is there, it has a hard-hitting core to it, and there's also a chorus which is memorable with some variation to it as well. I think this is more than anything, it's a fantastic way to debut in Eurovision and to really just get your message across, because you can do this in many ways. It could be a song that isn't very remarkable, but I think what they really did here is that they had their purpose set for them. They wrote a song which actually managed to deliver the message they wanted to go for, and it's performed flawlessly. I really do think so. It's this complete tone of a gray tone and really distant, and as I said, quite faceless, which really just emphasizes how much I actually love watching this performance and listening to this song. It's one of those that really, stick with me for many reasons, but I think just the whole package of everything that's going on here is so hard-hitting and striking that I think this is a fantastic entry. It's really one of these gems in Eurovision, I believe, which actually the purpose of it really can't go unnoticed. It's a fantastic entry, I think, from Bosnia and Herzegovina. 1993, what a way to just get going. And I think Bosnia and Herzegovina had a pretty strong start in Eurovision. In 1994, yeah, the titles of these songs, I'm not going to be able to mention them, but this is another quite, I think it's a solid entry. It's a duet with a pretty nice chorus, especially towards the end when the man and the woman, they're singing together, and the backing track is very wide and large. It's a very nice horn arrangement in the background, and it's quite just a fulfilling feeling that you get when you listen to it when the final chorus actually comes around. I just think it's a bit slowly moving forward throughout the song though, and it kind of just hinders the complete potential of this grand finale of the song. It's a pretty song, and it's a pretty ballad, and I would say it's a solid entry. I wouldn't really go as far and say that it's anything more than that, but I enjoy it for what it is, and it's solid enough. Another solid entry that Bosnia had here in the in the mid 90s is from 1995. Quite an upbeat and just memorable chorus with the melody, I think, mainly, and how it incorporates the backing track with the vocal melody. There's a very nice cooperation here. I think what really kind of just makes the song feel a bit odd is that the verses feel very distant from the chorus. I think the transitional work between the two is rather decent here, but it's just one of these feelings where if you open the song and you kind of listen to the first half of, like, the first verse of it, you get one specific type of tone that the song is going for, and then the chorus kind of shifts that tone completely on its side and then goes back. Like when the verse comes back, you have the original tone of the song, and it's just quite an uneven listening experience in that sense, I think. But at the same time, I think the chorus is rather strong. It's well performed. I think it's a solid entry altogether. 1996. This is unfortunately one of the more forgettable songs for me personally from Bosnia and Herzegovina. I think it's very well arranged in terms of its instrumentation. It really knows what it wants to do. I just kind of feel like this is done in such an over-dramatic manner. I get that if the purpose might be, very hard-hitting or dark or whatever, but I think the over-dramatization of everything here is quite palpable, unlike what they had in 1993, where I think it was done with more of a purpose and more of a sensitivity, I guess. 1996, I would put this in I like it, but because I do think this song is quite good, I just wish they could have toned down the drama of it, or like the melancholy of it, from this kind of over the top way. There's also like this key change towards the end, which just really tries to hammer home the drama or the emotions here. And I think you can deliver emotion and such in more subtle ways that could probably have benefited this song. That's just my initial feeling about it. I still like it, but I just think it has some flaws in there. So I'm gonna put it down here. 1997 is it's a pretty weak point for Bosnia and Herzegovina, I'm not gonna lie. I think this song has a somewhat memorable hook, but also one of these that can actually get a bit grating when you've heard it too many times. It's well sung, it's well performed, but I just don't get anything out of this song. It's not for me at all. And it's a shame to say, but really, some of the songs you just won't click with. I think this is one of the more, again, like with 96, this is kind of forgettable for me personally. Like the whole package of it is a bit on the forgettable side. I don't really recall this song and ever set out to think like, oh yeah, that's the one I want to hear again. Even though it has this catchy hook, as I said, the hook kind of is on the verge of kind of becoming this a bit grating type of hook. So no, this one is not for me. Sorry about that one. Something that definitely is for me is Putnici from 1999. Just a kind of like this hypnotic, constant rhythm in this song. It's a sense of world building here, and they really just establish the atmosphere just right. There's a setting in this song which you can really feel. It's very tangible. It's a very well performed song, and I'm loving the instrumentation of it. I think this is a really great effort, and they got a result justified of that. I think they finished 7th, and that was their best result to date until a certain song I think we all know came around and topped it. But yeah, I really think this one is quite great, and I'm especially due to the instrumentation of it. I think also very well performed on stage as well. So it's just a nice one to have up here. Really enjoyable. Another one that I like is Hano. This one didn't do that well, but I think there's like a tone in this song which is so nice to just get lost in, because there's a backing track here which just really sets the mood completely, and you get dragged into this whole atmosphere that the song has for it. And there's also this really kind of what do you say, like a type of really hard-hitting melody in here that really just latches itself onto me. The chorus melody of this song is so easy to just kind of get lost in and flow with. I like how it sounds. The intonation is great, the flow of it is great, and I'm also liking how it just works with the language. That's an underrated part of it as well. not quite a fan of it when he switches to English, for the second time around. It's at its peak in the early parts of the song. I think this is really great. It's not quite on par with their effort in 1999, but I really enjoyed this one. I could set out to listen to it at any point and just get lost in the music, I think. So I'll put this one up in really great. And then in 2002, they had a little upbeat number. This one is all right. I think it's solid. I don't remember too much about it. It's just one of these, a bit happy, a bit upbeat songs that you can kind of just jam along to it. It's very upbeat and has a great rhythm to it, and it's just some energy in here. It's done with a fun intention, and it's nice choreographed, and it's just very pleasant. It's very inviting to just get dragged along into this song. But I don't think it's anything exceptional in any area, really. It's just enjoyable to have there for 3 minutes and then move on to the next. I really do think so. In 2003, they had the song Nebrini. This is a weird one. Like, 2003 is one of my favorite years because it's the first year I watched Eurovision. Whether that makes you think that I'm really young or really old, I don't know. But I've soon watched Eurovision for 20 years. That's something. And in 2003, I have such a great connection with all of the songs, really. But when I set out to listen to this today, I'm kind of disappointed. I don't really enjoy it that much. But maybe just due to the nostalgia, I would put it in I like it, because I think the hook here is very memorable. And I kind of like the attitude of it. But when you listen to the whole song, I just kind of get uninterested. I don't really get dragged into it. But still, I will just put it above the 97 effort, because I do think the hook is there, and I have some kind of attachment to it, I guess. Just hearing this hook and seeing the performance, I like it because of that. In 2004, we have In the Disco. This is such a weird one. I mean, it's very upbeat, it's very danceable, it's very energetic in that sense. Well performed, I think. It has its purpose and it's executed its purpose, but it's just not for me. I'm not the audience for it. I don't really get any enjoyment out of it, even though I can see why other people definitely would, because it is upbeat, it is fun, it is energetic, just not for me. And that's all there is to it. Next up, we had Call Me. Also, like, just a fun number. They really had their fun period here up until the year that's coming up. Yeah, it's nice with the harmonies. It's a pretty memorable chorus. It's just entertainment for 3 minutes, but also at the same time a little bit forgettable for me personally. I don't really ever remember that this song has participated in Eurovision, to be completely honest. But it's enjoyable enough for the 3 minutes. I think I'll put it on par with the 2002 effort. It's definitely towards the bottom end of the solid tier, but I just think it's a solid package. Everything that they've done here is well executed. It's just that the song doesn't really have that type of identity and memorability that I really would have wished for. But something that definitely has all of these qualities and a little bit more is what I consider to be one of, if not the most well-written song in Eurovision, which is Lejla by Hari Matahari, and of course written by Željko. This is, in my humble and honest opinion, Željko has other songs. You have Lane Moje, which has the incredible melodic writing. You have Oro, which I think has a very nice atmospheric writing. Then you have Lejla, which has everything. Really, I do think so. The opening of this song is so tangible. It's so minimalistic and restrained, but really just sets this kind of tone of tranquility. And it moves into how the vocals go along with it, and they incorporate instruments at different sections to just kind of build into this complete journey that we're actually being taken on here for 3 minutes. It's one of these songs where you constantly feel the progression moving forward. Chorus is getting more grand throughout. And also just the layout of everything. You have the lighting behind it. It's not just a song that's incredibly well written here. It's well presented on stage as well. I'm loving how everything's dressed in white and the black screens behind them. And just this whole moment of all 6 of them walking together forwards during the final chorus. And the final chorus, when the music actually kicks in here with the drumming and all of the instruments are actually being allowed into the soundstage here. It's just one of these moments of real fulfillment for me personally. It's written with a purpose. It has a great identity to it. It's just one of these songs that takes me over from the very first second to even after the final note has been played out, because you're just still kind of in this trance. Or I shouldn't say you, because it's what I feel. Maybe you feel completely different about this song, but for me, this is the song that really just takes me over. Every time I want to listen to something from Eurovision that can kind of just act as a transcendental listening experience, I usually set out to listen to this song. In all honesty, I would place it in one of my absolute favorite Eurovision songs of all time, as you can see here. But this is, if we had even a higher tier than this one would land up there. That's how much I love this song. Truly. I'm done gushing over it. We're gonna move on to some other good songs because, as I said, Bosnia and Herzegovina is my type of country in Eurovision. 2007, Rijeka Bizimena or something like that. This is a very pretty ballad. It also has an identity. I think it also has a very nice atmosphere to it. And the instrumentation of it is very well put out. They kind of go with the same kind of vibe that Lejla had so much success with the year before, and why not? Balkan ballads are usually very, very beautiful because of the instrumentation. Because I also think a part of it is due to the language. For us that are not from these nations, we feel this kind of great emotion in the language that they have here as well when it goes together with this type of music. This is a song that doesn't really have the same memorable impact like a Lejla has, but I think that the instrumentation behind it is so nice. I'm loving the instrumental break in the middle section of the song, and also the layout on stage is very, very pretty. I think this is a really great entry. Just one of these great Balkan ballads that I can listen to a lot. Just unfortunately doesn't have the memorability that maybe other Balkan ballads from the period have. Then, yeah, Pokušaj, what happened here? I'm not going to put it down there, but actually, what happened here? You had Lejla and then this 2007 effort. Then comes the wackiest and most insane performance I've seen. Just a song with ideas all over the place, but still manages to pull off such great charm. I have to kind of just enjoy Pokušaj for what it is. It's not my type of music, it never will be. I don't know whose type of music this honestly is, but it's done with such charm and such, like, the only real approach that they've had here is make something fun, make something people will remember. That's solid in my that's solid in my book. You do whatever you want. I'm not gonna vibe with it, but I enjoy it for the 3 minutes that it goes on, and then maybe I don't need to see it again. But it's really enjoyable for what it is, and I love the creativity of the performance as well. There are so many ideas being thrown in here that you just kind of have to enjoy it for what it is. Next up, Bistra Voda. Another incredible Balkan ballad with one of the best instrumentations I've heard. Just love the whole instrumental part of this song, how it builds, how it incorporates different instruments throughout, and really, again, the ambiance of this song, just how it sets the tone. The vocal performance is incredible. It's so characteristic. It's filled with such, can you say life? It's filled with like a real sense of purpose as well. Bistra Voda is among the greatest songs I've heard in Eurovision. I will be completely honest and just mention that, like, the feeling that I get listening and especially watching this performance, it can only really be compared to Lejla. I really do think so. It's one of these perfected ballads which has has that energy that the drumming really contributes to this song, and also just has this instrumentation that really sets the tone perfectly, along with the stage layout. It's incredibly beautiful. And just how they've choreographed it. There's a purpose with this song. It's really tangible for me. It really speaks to me. Just watching and listening to this performance, I get hooked. I'm hooked throughout the 3 minutes, and I never wanted to stop, in all honesty. Just incredible in my book. I gotta put it up here. And then came 2010, Thunder and Lightning. This is it's such a weird one. Like, this is a rock song which kind of has some energy to it. It kind of has some drive in the guitars, but it just doesn't have any interest. Like, it doesn't interest me at all. There's nothing about it for me to latch onto. I don't think the hook is very memorable. I don't think, even though the guitars might be hard hitting, the song is like progressing too slowly. It doesn't really have that beat that really makes you feel the energy of the music here. It's just one of these kind of straight hit on the beats, just pushing forward, trying to just create some kind of attitude with that. But with rock music, you'd really just need the hectic side of things, the insanity to just kind of be pushed forward here. I just think this kind of ponders on. It never really goes that extra mile that it might need to do to really just work with these guitars in the most effective way. I get quite uninterested by this one. It's a shame. I do think there are good ideas in here, but I don't think the memorability that is there, and I don't think the energy is really there either. It's not for me. And then 2011 comes along, and it's the first country where I've had to put 3 songs in among the greatest, and this is not going to happen very often, if ever again. Love in Rewind it's a type of a singer-songwriter song with just the feeling of something completely else. It's so well structured. I think that's the main part of it. Like, how it opens with this just iconic kind of calling out. It's one of these really memorable, like, small melodies that you just get, like, that imprints itself in my head. And then how it moves into the verse, just the guitar and just the voice, and it becomes a type of storytelling. This song is storytelling, combined or accompanied with backing music. And the backing music does its own type of storytelling. The combination of instruments here, it's great. You also have, like, in the second verse where the horns join in, the drumming is so constant and kind of just charming in its rhythm that it establishes in the background. I just love going along on this journey and going along, listening to this story. It's one of these really incredible moments for me. And the chorus is remarkably memorable and remarkably well written. It has such a great melody to it, and it works so well with the backing track as well. And the performance, you see how united they are on stage, how much they're loving just what they're doing, and how much they really want to put a character into this storytelling. It's flawless. Oh, I can't get enough of it. I'm gonna watch this performance right after I finish recording this video, because just thinking about this song makes me want to see it and hear it over and over again. Among the greatest, it has to be. Korake Titsnam comes after it. It's another really great effort. Very pretty Balkan ballad. Memorable hook, I think, or like parts of it. Instrumental is really hard hitting as well. It's very strong. Just, the ballad with such a great progression. Everything is pulled off just the way it should be. It doesn't do anything extraordinary in terms of the other Balkan ballads that we've had here, but it also just does everything right and everything how it should be, I think. Very beautifully staged, very beautifully performed, and a great song to it. It's just really great. I do think so. And that was unfortunately the end of their tenure in Eurovision for almost 20 years straight. They had a few misses there around the century shift, but they came back in 2016 only to break their qualification record. It's a great shame, but this wasn't quite there. I do like this song. I think there are great ideas in here. I love the string arrangement of it. There's this cello being incorporated a lot throughout the song. But something that I really think about when I listen to it today, the production quality of this is not quite on par to what music from 2016 really should be. You have this section in the second verse where there's this rapping coming in, and the rapping is done with aggression, it's done with energy and assertiveness, and the backing track doesn't match that at all. You have this cello doing the hits that it really tries to mark the energy of the backing track as well, and it's this most mellow sound. You need to layer it. You need to make it hard hitting. You need to use layering to really just make these hits really remarkable and back up the energy that it really wants to transmit. when I listen to this song, I don't feel the raw emotion and the power that it wants to transmit. I feel like it doesn't really quite go there. The purpose is there, but the execution is unfortunately not. So I have to drag it down because of that. When you see it on stage, uh, there are good ideas here as well. I'm liking the barbed wire and the separation that goes on here. But at the same time, the song doesn't really have that additional and final push for the real delivery of the emotions, which I think just drags it down a little bit. I think there's a good song in here. There's a memorable chorus. I like the incorporation of the cello and the rapping. It adds like different varieties to the song throughout its runtime. But in all, I'm just slightly underwhelmed by the whole packaging here. And that is my final final opinions being expressed on a song from Bosnia and Herzegovina in Eurovision. As we can see on this tier list here, it's just a great country for Eurovision. I really want to see them back someday. I think they've given so many great great songs to the contest, and I just really want more of it. Hope we can see them back in soon. As you can see, I like a lot of the songs that they have sent. Maybe you do as well, or maybe you don't like them that much. That's completely fine. But do tell me what you think of their songs in Eurovision. How much of my list here would you change? Probably a lot, but do tell me what you would change. I'm looking forward to reading all about that. I hope to see you in the next video as well, where we will talk about Bulgaria, I believe, which is going to be another interesting one. So I hope to see you in that video as well. Take care of yourselves until then, and bye-bye.